When I had surgery, I assumed that when they were giving me anesthetic, that they'd count down from 10 like you see on the telly. But instead, a Czech nurse just looked down at me and said, "Goodbye," and I was gone. I laugh every time I think about it. OP is denying us the fucking golden replies to this tweet, OMG. I was having shoulder surgery last year and the anesthetic stung as it went in, so I said, "Ah, that stings," and the last thing I heard was, "Whoops, that wasn't supposed to hurt," right before I drifted off. Knee reconstruction, spinal block due to a cold. Halfway through, I come to enough to hear the surgeon and the nurse arguing over where the screwdriver was. Helpful me said, "I've got one in my car downstairs." Fade to black. I still remember right before going under for my spinal fusion, the nurse said, "So you'll be in anesthesia during the surgery. I'm starting it now." A couple of seconds passed and I was like, "So when does it kick in?" Well, those couple of seconds were 9 hours later post-op. Lol. When I was getting surgery, they asked me what I wanted to listen to before I drifted off, and I said I didn't mind. They said, "Cool, because we only have Christmas songs," before they gathered around me and sang Merry Christmas as I passed out laughing. As they gave me the anesthetic, I said, "What if it doesn't work?" And the nurse said, "It usually works, but if it doesn't, we have a hammer." I have a very low resting heart rate. When waking up from anesthesia, I kept dozing off to the point where the nurse said, "You could just try to stay awake so we can let you onto the ward. Your heart rate keeps dropping off the face of the earth." Lamau. They brought me to OR and started arguing about which songs to put on the playlist. And not even a relaxing one. These MFs were choosing bangers. Then one of them saw the look on my face and said, "Okay, you go to sleep," and just jabbed me. I went under once for appendicitis. I remember this conversation. "Can I have some water?" "Not right now. You're about to go in for surgery." "I'm really thirsty. When do I go in?" "You've already finished." So I had jaw surgery when I was just over 17, and they had given me a light sedative before being wheeled into the OR because I was nervous AF. So I was already high when I got into the OR. Then the anesthesia came and I was like, "I'm gonna fight it." I lost. When I was 5, I had surgery, and the surgeon, to help me feel less nervous, decided to show me all the knives he was going to use right before I was anesthetized. This was at a children's hospital, and it did not help me. When I had surgery, after the anesthetic, I told a member of the surgical team that I couldn't possibly be operated on because my fanny was on fire. When I had a nurse told me to count as high as I could. I asked, "What's the record?" wasting time, and she said no one makes it to 10. I said, "Bet." Made it all the way to 2. My anesthetist put the mask on me and said, "I want you to count down from 100. And I remember saying, "No," and then waking up 3 hours later. Whenever they put me under sedation for colonoscopies, I have no memory of them, but they always ask, "Is it working yet?" as they start the IV, and as soon as it hits, I start laughing, and then the rest of the day is pretty much a blank. Also, I remember one time my consultant told me he's scared of dogs, and apparently while I was sedated, I told him I was going to chase him around endoscopy with a picture of my Yorkshire Terrier. The man literally had a camera up my ass, and I'm making threats. When I had breast reduction surgery, I got into the OR and got put on this table that looked like a flat crucifix, arms out so they could get to the girls. And I said, "God, don't nail me down." They put the mask on my face, and the nurse said, "No Jesus treatment today." And the last thing I said to her was, "Jesus with some big-ass titties," and then passed out. Who do you think took your boobs? Post complete. We can all go home now.